Hey guys, it's your old pal CHH. It's exciting times in the world of physical media, that I can tell you right now. One of the big things that's about to happen very, very soon, hopefully I drop this video before it happens, more than likely not, because I try to stay very much ahead. I feel like if I'm not ahead with making videos, I'm behind. But my point is, Second Sight is really about to hit a really high plateau right now with the release of, or the pre-order announcement, or it's already been announced. What I'm saying is they're about to have a pre-order up for probably what's going to be their biggest release of all time, besides Dawn of the Dead, of course, and that is the 4K release of The Hitcher. And with this announcement, I think more people are going to kind of get their eyeballs on the company Second Sight. And I wanted to do a video today to really showcase what that company is about and why Second Sight. Why should I make a case for you to become a Second Sight customer? Because I think they have a niche right now, not only in the region that they're located in, but really what they're doing for the American audiences is something that is kind of not being done from any of the other companies in a bigger way. What they're doing is pretty much unique right now when it comes to physical media, and I'm a big fan of them. So I wanted to do a video and showcase what the company's kind of about and the style of releases they have. And I wanted to start actually with two new releases that I have. And here's the first thing I want to say. Some of these are actually obviously 4Ks, and I'll tell you why it's good to get 4Ks from Second Sight, but I'm also going to say to really get the benefit of the company and to be able to enjoy the company as much as you can, you got to go region free. There's just no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I've implored people to do it for so long. I still implore people to do it for a multitude of reasons. Number one, the first reason is you could pay a lot of times. When I got a region free play around 2018, 2019, I could pay $80 to $100 for an out-of-print title in America from a company, or I can get the Sleepaway Camp 2 Blu-ray from 88 Films for $12. Have it shipped in my house, have it within a week. And I did that for a number of titles. 976 Evil is another one. Way out of print in America. Eureka put out a really nice Blu-ray. You can get that. My point is, obviously, Second Sight is not a company that's based in America, so their stuff is regional like the Blu-rays. But be region-free. I really urge you guys to do that. I'm going to give you some examples of why I think you should. So let's start actually with two new titles, and I really want to talk to you guys about some of these movies. I don't want to just say, look at the box, look at the booklet. No, I really want to talk about the titles as well. So let's get started. Let's start with the first one. So this is a great example of what Second Sight is doing that America isn't. The first title I want to show you guys is right here. This is Ty West's The Sacrament. Obviously, Ty West is a big deal right now. He just got off the high of his Maxine trilogy, or the X trilogy, whatever you want to call it. So The Sacrament is basically the Jonestown murders as a found footage film. This is still my favorite Ty West film. I'm a really big advocate for the movie. I think it's very, very creepy. I think it's very, very intense. It's a great found footage film. Now, in America, there is an IFC Blu-ray for this. And, you know, it's just a standard Blu-ray, and I have that. And what I like that Second Sight does, this release is really going to kind of talk into that as well as the next release. Second Sight is doing prestigious releases with more information, a better presentation, obviously, for the physical media fan, than with titles like this, than the companies in America, because a lot of the companies, they just put out standard blues, and that's fine for a lot of people, and quite frankly, that is fine for me too in a lot of instances. But there are some movies that I really become fond of, and I say, man, I would really like to have something a little bit more prestigious, a little bit more like loving for that film to show. I want something that lets me know I'm almost validated for being such a big fan of this film. And so Second Sight is getting the license for a lot of the titles that are kind of just little sleeper gems in America. And, you know, with a title like this, you're going to get, it's very much akin to like the Arrow video style. You get your hard shell box, which you can also get this release without the hard shell box. You can get a standard version of that. And the postcards, they always have the postcards, which you guys know how those go. They're just pictures of the movie. So I don't really need to go through that too much. I could honestly probably do without the postcards, and most companies do that. Arrow does that, Second Sight does that, but what I really love is the booklets. This is where you're going to get a lot of cool information and a lot of cool facts about the movies. And yeah, this looks like a really great read. So nice book about the movie and everything, pictures behind the scenes. the guy who plays Jones, Jim Jones, was really good in this movie. Really, really freaky dude. So, you know, you're going to get more of a prestigious run with this. Now, like I said, The Sacrament is a found footage film. And, in terms of special features, that's another thing. This has new special features just made for this release. So Second Sight never skimps on special features. That's another thing. And there are special features that are going to be only to this kind of release. You're not going to be able to get this and have these new interviews, etc., that you would from an American release because, number one, those releases are old, and number two, they're not really treated as releases that are for the true fan of the movie. It's really just a way for the people to see the film the way they release stuff in America. It's just like, well, here's the film in the trailer. So that's an example of something Second Sight does that's really cool. Another one I want to show you guys is right here. Now, I'm a big advocate of this movie. I just recently became a big fan of this film. I got no problem admitting it. That is Gonjiam, The Haunted Asylum. Now, here's the new limited edition release for this movie. I gotta say, I've been a found footage fan. Oddly enough, this is another found footage release. I've been a found footage fan for the better part of, 15 years. Really, my love for the genre came with Paranormal Activity. You know, I had seen the Blair Witch and things like that, but my love for the genre really came around that point. And so I've watched a number of films. One of the most loving found footage movies I have is Mr. Jones. I really wish people would watch that movie. I'm a big fan of it. Long story short, Gonjiam, The Haunted Asylum is one of the best found footage movies I've ever seen. It is I don't remember if it's Japanese or Korean. I really do apologize. I cannot remember off the top of my head. But here's what I'll say about Gonjiam, The Haunted Asylum. It's about this almost like a ghost hunter's crew that go to to Gonjiam, and it's described as the scariest abandoned asylum in the world. And there are some moments in this that really got to me. And when I watched this, I felt like a fool for not, number one, having seen it already, and number two, not owning it. So, of course, I picked up a cheap little Blu-ray that I believe it was Wellgo USA put out, which, again, if you want to check the film out and own the film that I'm talking about this, you can get that. But I really wanted to have something that showed a lot of love for this movie, and I thought that this release was fantastic, and it was so cool that, you know, if I should have just streamed the movie instead. Well, that's not true. I actually did stream the movie, then I bought the Blu-ray of it, and then this came out. So whenever I get ready to buy a Blu-ray is when some of this stuff comes out. If I had just waited a few months, maybe a month or so, you know, I would have been all right. But again, like I said, you're going to get new features on here. This has brand new audio commentaries, new features on here. There's a new little making of on here. And, of course, you get the really cool booklets that are very much like the Arrow. I mean, I think the Arrow style is probably the most beloved physical media style of releasing. So I love the booklets. I love sifting through the books while I'm watching the films, especially if it's a movie that I've already seen before, obviously. And very cool. So they do a lot of Blu-ray releases that are still prestige-style releases for big titles, or titles that you could be a big fan of. And the beauty is, you know, there are other box set releases that they've done, or collector's releases, where I pass on them, or I may get the standard version of it because maybe I just want to see the new special features. I don't want everything to be a hard box release. But I love that they do stuff like that and give this just a huge amount of love for titles that in America are just kind of treated as throwaway titles. I mean, I showed you guys a Ty West film just now, and he's one of the biggest movie guys in the world, I feel, right now. He's one of them. He's coming up, especially with the success of the Maxine trilogy. Ty West is just like, he's the man. So it's cool to see him get a release like that. And other titles that are examples of what I'm talking about is this right here, Paranormal Activity. I mean, just very, very cool. Nice box set of that. And of course, this has its own special features as well, which is you know, only exclusive to this release. And you got your cool booklet with it. And I got this because I'm just such a fan of the movie that I needed to have this. So, you know, that's another thing. So let's move on to some other releases that I show you guys. One of the coolest releases was this right here. This one I was super excited for. I did a review of this Another set of titles that like they give so much love to, and in America, I don't even know if the sequels have Blu-rays. They may, but the Ginger Snaps trilogy. I mean, they did Blu-rays of 1, 2, and 3 on here, and I thought about it. I was like, maybe I want to get Ginger Snaps on 4K, but I didn't own the sequels, and I was like, I think I want to get this. And great special features on these. You know, you got your 3 discs in there, all 3 movies. I actually really liked Ginger Snaps 2. 3 was okay. 2 impressed me a lot. I really didn't think I was going to like 2, and there's some great effects in 2. And just a gorgeous hardbox release on that. So, not titles that I think the American companies, whoever got licensed to, would do something this nice. So, there's another example. With the 4Ks that Second Sight does is stuff like this. Green Room, which is a A24 movie that really is a great title. I did a review on this as well. A great release, brand new features on this, and I think people would love that one for sure. Another title that, like, if you're a huge fan of this movie, America got a Scream Factory Blu-ray of it, and overseas they had this luxurious Session 9 release, which I'm never going to be a massive fan of this movie, but I have a really love-hate relationship with it to where it's become an old friend to me. So this was kind of like the token of respect that I gave this film to get this really cool release. Again, nice booklet in here, special features that were made just for this release. Just a really nice release. And then they do stuff like this, which was a big seller, I think, for them just recently, was High Tension. And this release was fantastic. They did a great job with this. High Tension is one of those great French horror films. And this was this lovely 4K release. And unfortunately, the downside was this movie is very, very dark. But if you're a big fan, you're going to get bonus features on here that were made from this. Just this gorgeous presentation, and, you know, that you can't beat. And Second Sight has a distinction of being the only company right now to actually have the license for Dawn of the Dead. This is the release that's still available from them. The multi-cut 4K standard release, which is still a chunky box release, which is interesting that this is still considered a standard release. And this is a good release. There's nothing wrong with this release. It still gets the job done. Luckily, I have the Super Deluxe edition, but you know, there you go. And another thing that's really great, this movie is only available from Second Sight as far as I know. Still available, but you can only get the standard version as of right now. They got George Romero's Martin. Just remarkable that they did this. This release is stacked, and there are so much special features on here. And this was just so great because this is considered like one of George's lost films because of how lost it was on physical media. I don't know that I think it went from VHS to 4K. I'm not sure. There may have been DVDs of it, either bootleg or early era DVDs. But another reason why becoming a Second Sight customer could work in your benefit, because you could truly get titles that no one's put out. No, I don't think anyone else has put out Martin, and it's a George Romero film. So I don't know what the deal is with the license for that film, especially in America. But the beauty is, like, when you start checking out these companies, you don't have to wait. And a great example of what this company can do is their It Follows release. This was a banger of a release when they put this out. Just absolutely fantastic, guys. They did a plethora of new features just for this release, and it was just a fantastic release. I can't put over this release enough, especially now that we got the announcement of a new one. I wasn't really thrilled with the idea of that, but now I'm just like, whatever. They're making it, I'll watch it. Now it's just like, there are interviews on here that just blew me away. They got the boy that was interested in her the whole movie talking about everything with this movie, and it was just such a well-done release. So cheers to Second Sight. I mean, this release, I think everybody was grabbing this when it got announced. It just took over the world. And one of the best examples I can give for why Second Sight is kind of in this niche right now that is making people happy is they're putting out some of those early 2000s horror movies like May, that were the straight-to-DVD kind of movies that came out that you would see on the Blockbuster shelves. But the reality was this was a good movie. It's a really good, dark comedy. And they're doing cool releases for this with new bonus features, giving it the love that movies like The Thing would get from Scream Factory during Scream Factory's heyday. So I got a lot of love for Second Sight, and I've got a pretty hardy collection now of their titles. So that's just some examples, guys. There's other titles that they've put out that are just, you know, incredible. But I think we're all expecting them to just destroy, in a good way, the Hitcher 4K box set release they're going to do. It's probably going to be fantastic. They've been teasing bonus features for that, so I'm so excited for that, guys. So that's just a taste of what Second Sight has, and I think, again, I'm just a fan of them, and I like what they do very, very much, and they're tackling titles that are of much interest to me, and I think they're of interest of a lot of people, and I think people just need to be a little bit more aware of, hey, this is what this company is, and this is the kind of niches that they're going after, as well as getting titles in that America kind of just puts out, you know, rinky-dink releases for here and there. They're a really cool company. I'm super excited for the Hitcher. That's going to be a huge release from them. Can't wait for it, guys. So hope you enjoyed this video. What is your favorite Second Sight release? Let me know. You can't go wrong. Be region free so you can get into them. And the 4K stuff, obviously, it's region free. And they put all their special features on the 4K discs so you can enjoy the 4K special features as well. So they're doing everything right, in my opinion. I love Second Sight. Thank you guys for watching. This is your old pal CHH. Take care, guys. Huge giant thank you to all of my Patreon supporters. Without you guys, this would not be possible. To get behind the scenes photos, videos, music, private live streams, and much more, you can subscribe to my Patreon for as little as $1 a month. Thank you to my patrons.